Good morning and happy Friday, January 17th. This is Wake Up with KERA News. I'm Andrew Garcia. Today's weather is going to be fairly pleasant, with sun and temperatures in the mid to upper 60s. But temperatures are expected to drop over this long weekend, starting tomorrow evening. Overnight temperatures will be in the 20s, so be sure to make your freeze preparations for your home now. Coming up, post-election tensions have left some Black and queer communities in Dallas seeking emotional refuge. We'll hear more after the news. Grand Prairie's police chief is trying to ease concerns in his community over mass deportations. Speaking at an immigration forum this week, Chief Daniel Cesny says his officers will not be checking immigration status.
What we are not going to do
Lo que no vamos a hacer
is round people up,
es ir a buscar a personas
take them to jail
y llevarlos a la cárcel
because their papers, we won't even ask for
porque
that.
sus documentos.
The forum was a collaboration between the Mexican, Salvadorian, and Guatemalan consulates and immigration advocacy groups in Grand Prairie. Collin County has a new elections administrator. The County Election Commission appointed Deputy Elections Administrator Caleb Barreau to the role. The Texas Secretary of State's office called Collin County the model for how to run elections in Texas in its 2020 election audit. Collin County Election Judge Casey McLean says Barreau will maintain that standard.
He's worked very hard to resolve any issues, even when it didn't resolve the way I wanted. I understood the rationale because he was ready to and able to explain.
Collin County directed staff last year to explore switching from voting machines to hand-marked paper ballots. With Inauguration just a few days away, some historically marginalized communities are still recovering from the emotional toll of this fall's elections. In Dallas, organizers are creating spaces for Black women and the queer community to process their feelings and find connections. KERA's Zara Amechi has more on how these spaces offer a sense of hope in uncertain times.
On a quiet Thursday evening, a small group of Black women gathers at the Oak Cliff Cultural Center. It's an intimate setting with light snacks, a circle of chairs, and an inspirational quote from the late poet Nikki Giovanni. We have to practice loving and caring and tolerance, and it's time we started. The evening's goal is to hold a space for a community reeling from November's election results. Many of these women are queer and say their loved ones voted against their best interests. Others are concerned about what kind of challenges they'll face for the next 4 years. Deanne Kennedy is the founder of the Dallas Black Queer Collective. She says she wasn't surprised by the election outcome, but many people are feeling its weight.
I've always kind of felt like this is the America that I know it to be.
Kennedy noticed that members of her community were overwhelmed with emotion. People close to her were losing friendships and family connections over political divides. That's when she created Community Check-In, a monthly event where Black people can express their deepest emotions without fear or judgment.
You got to give people hope. Like, you have to.
Kennedy says she's struck by how raw the conversations can become. Many participants, like Danny Carty, share feelings of anger, betrayal, and helplessness. For them, the check-in provided a space to unload, recharge, and move forward.
These spaces have allowed me and other Black queer folk to feel very held in a time full of uncertainty and a whole lot of misinformation. You know, it's nice to be in a room and like just hear people talk and be like, okay, well, at least not all hope is lost.
This type of healing isn't new for Black communities. Linda Jones, a writing coach in Dallas, has been holding healing circles for Black women for more than 2 decades. Her work began with tackling topics like hair discrimination against Black women in the 90s. As time went on, Jones used the circles to respond to other moments of collective grief, like the 2016 police killing of Philando Castile. Jones says Black women especially carry an invisible burden.
We tend to repress or suppress the things that we may want to say, but we're so concerned about others and how they may feel, or we're busy taking care of others, that we will put how we feel or the pain that we might be experiencing to the side. And that is not healthy.
Jones says spaces like these are essential for Black women, especially when facing challenges like healthcare disparities. A survey by KFF reported Black women are more likely to say they have been treated unfairly by a healthcare provider because of their racial or ethnic background than Black men and white women.
Those are cases for making sure that there are circles, healing circles.
Deanne Kennedy with the Dallas Black Queer Collective says for her, this emotional labor feels personal. This is the first time she's led healing spaces after such high-stakes elections.
I feel like it is through talking and communication and sharing stories and sharing collective woes and sharing collective joy that so many oppressed people have been able to make it, right?
Kennedy plans to keep hosting these circles, advocating for the Black and queer community to be heard as the political landscape evolves. She believes healing will keep the energy up for the next 4 years.
That was KERA's Zara Amechi reporting. The Texas Rangers are gearing up for Fan Fest this weekend. They're welcoming visitors to Globe Life Field on Saturday to enjoy team autographs, wiffle ball, baseball card shows, and much more. Learn more and get tickets at MLB.com/Rangers. Folk music fans can see Zach Wilkerson in Plano this evening at Love and War in Texas. His eclectic sound is sure to have toes tapping into the weekend. For more information and other fun things to do, visit KERA.org/calendar. Thanks so much for listening to Wake Up with KERA News. I'm your host, Andrew Garcia. This show is produced and edited by Shardae White and Bekah Morr. For more news in your inbox, visit KERA.org/wakeup. There you can subscribe to the Wake Up with KERA News newsletter, written by our colleague Catherine Hobbs. You can also connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at KERATX. The podcast will take a short break on Monday as we celebrate the legacy of MLK Jr. But you can head over to KERAnews.org to listen to live special coverage of the inauguration starting at 10 a.m. as Washington swears in Donald Trump as the 47th President of the United States. Take care, and we'll see you on Tuesday.